Hello everyone, we are back after a long gap with some more Car Mechanic Simulator. There is a new thing we can do in the game that came out recently, which allows us to strip down existing cars. We're gonna pop into here. Costs $1,000 to get in, but basically we can find old cars, we can get a hold of an old car, a junker, tear it apart for its stuff, and then maybe, just maybe, use that stuff in our repairs. Ooh, fancy car. And oh yeah, I've gotten the downloads for some of the more iconic cars. I think I have all the DLC available essentially. Take this bumper off. I want this piece of body. I can't claim that piece of body. Needs to be on the lift before I can take apart the suspension. Alright, let's get in here and tear apart whatever we can out of this engine here. So here we are. Single carburetor intake manifold. With all the stuff they've added, there's a lot of different variety in cars and stuff now that are available. So, got a couple of push rods. Valve rocker. And the idea, from what I understand, is that we should be able to use at least some of these parts in our repairs. We get money for tearing it apart. What are you whining about? Oh. This is a slant 6. Tell by that spark plug. It looks like a slant 6 anyway, based on those spark plugs. Okay, you know what? We got a pretty darn good looking ignition distributor cap and distributor. We'll see if we can salvage any of these spark plugs. We could really become one of those shady sort of places that repairs your cars with used parts and saves money that way, rather than buying them new. This is not a piston that's accessible. There it is. Nope. All right. Accessible from the car lift, old battery, one of those things. Everything else we need to get from underneath. So let's send it up. Kind of bad you can't too bad you can't actually have this done in your garage. That would be so much more handy, I would think. I don't know what kind of programming hurdles or challenges they had on getting this all set up, but it seems kind of strange to me that we have to go to a whole separate garage, to a gigantic loading screen, just to essentially disassemble cars that we already have. Spring. You want us to get rid of I need to recenter my camera on what I'm working on, which is the engine, which is actually the crankshaft. Before I can do that, I need to remove this. I'm gonna get rid of the transmission first. Is that what you're saying? I wonder what I'm actually going to get out of this as far as usable parts. And these parts all look like terrible, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad parts. And if the parts under, say, well, you know what? I don't know. I'm going to just try to fix them. So far, I've just barely earned enough money to even break even on this effort. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting cash. Tear apart this part of the suspension. And off with the wheel. Front wheel hub needs to... Oh, yeah, we're going to disassemble the brakes first. So I'll have to actually try and repair a car with all these extra parts that we have as soon as we try to fix them in our garage, even though most of them are going to fail. In fact, I'm not sure if any of them will succeed, but we'll try it. Excuse me. And see how it all turns out. Come on. This thing, get that from the engine bay. Anything else from in here that we can get in here? Or is it all from the engine bay? All right. Oh. We still have a rear end we can pull off. Yeah, there's an old braking system for you. It's the drum brakes. There's a reason we moved to disc brakes. Fewer moving parts, easier to maintain, and more reliable. Okay, there's nothing left in the rear end. Everything else is in the engine bay, which is over here. Now, it's been so long since I've actually worked on any of these cars, and there's a whole bunch of new cars that I have in the various DLCs that I haven't even tried. So I would have thought that's a bumper, but I guess it's not. Here comes the V8 engine block and a radiator. Okay, it says that I have earned $5,194. Parts left 1. Which one? Now I want to find it just... Oh, here it is. It's the taillight. Okay. Now I want to find it just because. Alright, we're stripped out. Return to garage. So that took about 10 minutes to get through that car. That's not bad. Now, like, we have a whole bunch of extra parts We can have them lying around, give them a repair, keep a catalog of parts in our stuff. Maybe start using them to save us a little bit of money when we do our repairs and other things. Keep parts. Okay, let's go fix them. Sweet. Sweet. Okay. And that one's already 84%. We're going to leave it alone. Nice. Now I have a sell junk button. Let's try selling junk. Oh, okay. That's the only thing that's junk. Sort by condition. Here we go. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll get rid of everything under 60%. Oops. Escape. Here, we'll just do it from the top to bottom. A whole lot of stuff. I don't think all this is from that same car. I did a car earlier in the previous recording. Maybe I'll include it in an edit. And then everything vanished off the screen and I thought I had messed up. But it looks like I was off my rocker. And have a whole bunch of goodies in here. So we're getting rid of everything that is below 60%. I don't know what kind of thresholds my repairs are wanting these days as far as reliability. Okay. That looks good. Let's find a job. Phone. Available from 6,802. Alright. So we have a Sakura GT20. Repair all engine faults. Knocking noises from the engine bay. Replace engine oil and filter. Replace all filters. Replace timing related parts. And the car is loud. So this is basically going to be a muffler job. All the timing stuff. Oil and filter. Knocking noises from the engine bay, which is going to be push rods and stuff like that. So this ought to be a pretty good one. I think I found it. So there's some new stuff going on in this particular car mechanic simulator that I'm not used to, and that is making me learn a couple of new things, which is awesome. Still haven't discovered this part. Is your battery dead? There it is. It was a frickin' battery. Oh my god. All right. Well, let's go try and fix some of this stuff by hand. Worst thing we can possibly do is mess it all up. Cool. What's the minimum standard for this car? 52%. So anything that's over 52%, I'm not going to touch it. So that's everything else we got here. All right. Assemble mode. Get all our stuff in the bottom that we can get in. Yep. Now this oil filter's done. %, right? This car's a four-wheel drive? Or is it a rear-wheel drive? Hey, we have a middle muffler from the other car. That saved us some cash. Drive shaft's barely in good enough condition. Okay, back to the engine. We do know that we need a new oil filter. Oh, good God. Oil filter I6, right? Mounting these things again. I took apart the entire engine, trying to figure out what was wrong. We did find one of them that was busted. So we know we need a crankshaft bearing cap. Crankshaft bearing cap, one of those. Having a tablet is so handy. Got myself turned around here. Okay, down with the lift, because we got to put in all the cylinders again, and then we can put on the oil pan. The starter looks rough. I wonder how many of these parts we're actually upgrading because we had them left over from the other stuff. 12 bolts for the engine header. I don't know how much experience I got off this. Probably 100, right? After all this. all this work. All right. Oops. Camshaft caps. Pretty sure I found one of these was worn out, so I need to buy a new one, but we'll wait till we get there. Since we do have our tablet. Yeah, we're getting down to it. That's the last one that we can use. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 camshaft caps. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Bought the wrong ones. I bought the wrong ones. Now normally you wouldn't just repair the worn out ones. You'd take all the camshaft caps and get them all done. Because otherwise you can end up with sort of an imbalance where some camshafts are performing better or tighter than other ones. And that's just a recipe for problems if you have that kind of unbalance in the engine. So this kind of job, typically, if you're replacing one, you're replacing them all. Tablet, spark plug, spark. Same thing with the spark plugs. You wouldn't just do one of them. I've got to replace this whole carburetor. I gotta get him a whole new set of air filters. Tablet. Carb. Yep. 2-barrel side shaft. Replace one new carburetor. And yeah, all these air filters. Air filter. And we're looking at the round air filter, 2 carbs. Round air filter, side draft. 2, 3. Those on there. Oops. Wrong one. Ah, what a pain in my butt. And this is one of those things where you wouldn't go straight up and down. You'd go in a pattern, like a zigzag around kind of thing. We need to exhaust manifold inline 6s. Manifold. 2 of these. Because the ones he had were so rusted, they probably had holes in them. And tie it to the rest of the exhaust. And next one. Do 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 do. Alternator's good enough. Water pump, need a new one of those. Water pump inline 6, I assume. Timing chain. Timing chain. It's unfortunate that these guys use a timing chain as opposed to a belt, but that's just the way it is. Oh, timing chain sprocket. Water pump pulley also needs a redo. Water pump. Water pimp. Water pump pulley. Is this timing cover shot? Yes, it is. Timing Co. Needs a new radiator. And I'm pretty sure he needs a new radiator fan B too. Nope, actually radiator fan B is fine. Wrong one. Ah, I've done it. Over here, the radiator. Assemble. There we go. How's your battery doing? Need a new battery. That was the one part we didn't think to check. And again, what I should have done was probably just ran this thing through its diagnostics. Then I'd know right away half the stuff that needs to be done. Okay. Ignition distributor. Good enough. Rotor is good enough. Caps good enough. Wires are good enough. New fuel filter. Serpentine belt, fuel pump. Serpentine belt I6. Is it A or B? B. Let me guess the A was shot as well. Oh, the A is fine. How are we looking? Need to stick in a fuel pump and get the oil back in the system, and we're happy. Up on the lift. Now I can put on the oil pan. Be kind of awkward trying to put oil in it. Such an interesting way to build a square. Up under here. We need a fuel pump. Pump. Fuel pump. Are we done? With the exception of sticking oil in the thing? Put in some oil. And we're all done. 3,200 bucks. Bonus for completed task, bonus for completing job, money spent, repair parts exceeding condition. Finish it. Oh. Clips on something in here in the engine block. Oh, also some suspension. All right, what are the those clips that they wanted? I only have one of them. Oh, here it is. There we go. Looks like I've got 200 experience for that one. So there you have it. A new episode of Car Mechanic Simulator with the new, basically scrap heap disassembling of stuff. I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to go to my inventory and sell my junk. And I'll sell all this stuff too. I think 60% is a reasonable threshold of stuff to keep. I don't know. Got some good stuff here to keep for future repairs. So yeah, kind of cool new thing we can do in Car Mechanic Simulator, being able to tear apart existing cars. I'm going to play some off camera here and probably work on getting myself upgraded with some things. Fast manual examination. Repair tools level 1. I think we're getting to a point where we want to start looking at getting repair tools updated. So yeah, until next time, thanks for tuning in, and keep flying and stay shiny. That's not very car mechanic of me. Anyway, take care. Goodbye.